moving on to our next topic of discussion here. JT, we talked about him last week, coming back off his injury, coming off the pup, big brand new extension. Is he RB1 for the rest of the season? And Jake, I'm going to let you start this one.
So when he came back and we got all the good news in quick succession, off the pup, got the contract so fast. It's like, okay, the worries about Jonathan Taylor are officially put to rest, because my thought was they can activate him all they want. But until I see that guy actually out on the football field, I'm not even going to believe that he's going to play for them because of all the contract dispute shenanigans that were going on. So flash forward to last week, he was technically on the field, but it wasn't very often. It was 15% of the offensive snaps that he played. Zach Moss, meanwhile, just absolutely crushing 23 carries, almost 200 total yards, and 2 touchdowns. So my philosophy initially seeing that was, well, they're just easing Jonathan Taylor back in. They're not rushing him out there because they just paid him all this money. I think I've galaxy brained this even more, Dustin. So that's where we left it ourselves talking, I think, on Sunday was kind of that. Now, after seeing Zach Moss, do you think it's possible they're just so trying to showcase Zach Moss for a trade? Going, look, here's this other incredible running back asset that we have. Don't you also want him? And now with these other injuries, it kind of makes it even more interesting. Do you think that that's a possibility?
I mean, it's always a possibility, but can you also have too many good players on your team?
No. Most people would say no.
Especially since JT, is coming back from injury. I know it wasn't a super serious injury. It's not like it was an ACL or Achilles or anything like that. But I mean, he was sidelined basically all summer and, through the first 4 weeks of the season. They just paid him a boatload of money for a running back contract. Do they want to risk that? I don't know. I mean, and I don't think Moss has that big a contract where it's prohibitive to have him on the roster through the end of the year. So it's just like, if he's playing well in the system, why not keep him on the roster? If JT struggles for any reason, well, at least you got Moss that's been playing well. So I don't know that they would do that. I mean, I suppose that's an option. 100% it is. I just don't know that it'll happen. I mean, you don't typically see in-season trades for running backs all that often. I know McCaffrey. Don't give me that look. Don't give me that look.
It just happened not that long ago. But yeah, I like I said, I'm sure I'm galaxy braining this a little bit too much. All this is really to say, I do think if we're just looking at this coming week, week 6 through the end of the regular season, I think when it's said and done, he is a top 12 running back. Do I think that he's a locked and loaded every week kind of guy, though? I have my doubts. I think he'll even himself out, but I'm sure there's going to be weeks where he disappoints you because maybe there is a slight injury concern, and then maybe they do lean into Zach Moss, supposing that he stays on the roster again. So I'm not fully convinced, but what about you?
No, I mean, if we're looking at just the rest of the season, points per game, RB1.
Not.
I just don't see. I think Zach Moss has been playing extremely well. Extremely well. He is the hot hand. And especially with Richardson questionable now, they're going to want to probably rely on their running game a little bit more. And over the next couple weeks, they're probably still going to want to ease JT back. Again, they don't want to ruin their investment long term here. So I don't believe it. I think after this year, moving forward, especially for Dynasty, no concerns. He is the guy. But for this year, I have concerns, so I'm not buying it.